Okay.
Our microphone is limited. Anybody have any questions about what it is to be in an experience, an international experience like that, to be covering it, or to be a journalist in a situation like that?
I have a question.
Yeah, Joanna.
Where was he getting his food from? Since, like, I mean, I was watching the news and it mentioned how a lot of the stores were closed and people weren't working, so obviously those things weren't as easy.
Did you hear that, or you want me to repeat it for you?
No, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, she wanted to know where you were getting your food and things from, because on the news it mentioned that a lot of stores and restaurants and things like that were closed. What was that experience like?
Everything was closed. It's normally like that in situations with curfew. It's a problem. We're staying at a hotel. They shut down all the restaurants except for one pub that also served food, and they had a very, very limited menu. And that's where we got our food. We did not move outside of the hotel after dark. That was just plain stupid. If we did, people would. We were right next to the poor district, where people would just snatch you and rob you. So we wouldn't do that. We would stay in the hotel. They had food, though limited, and got supplies during daytime.
Anybody else have a question? Yeah.
When something you emotionally connect to it, I guess, how does he handle himself with that?
Cassie's question is, if you are emotionally connected to what you're covering, especially in situations like these when there's a lot of probably murder and things like that just going on, how do you handle that?
Well, I guess it's easier for me as a photographer than for the reporter. What I'm doing when I'm in a what I would call a stressing situation, I look through the viewfinder and tell myself, okay, you got to do what you got to do to get the story. Look at it as the most important thing is just to get that story, not put your own life at risk, but get the story. Don't what's happening is happening if you're there or not. It's I don't find it very hard being in a situation like that. I don't know how to explain it in English. Let me see. It's I know I don't get emotionally attached to what's happening. I don't know. I think it's because I realize things would happen if I'm there or not. So I'm just there as an observer. And what I do is I put it on my camera. I concentrate on doing my job, and that I guess after I'm done for the day and I look through the pictures that I've taken and I can see some horrible stuff on it, I have to leave that out for the news. But when I look at it, it might be rough, you know. It might be hard. If I'd been working all by myself and not with a reporter that's seen the very same stuff, I think that would have been a lot harder emotionally. But we talk to each other. We, believe it or not, we joke a lot about it, and that's our way of getting it out of the system. I've been to several other things that are it's not pleasant, like the tsunami in Thailand, and you see bodies just laying all over the place, you know, and they're bloated because of the heat. It's the stench is always the worst thing. It's not what you see; it's the smell. But when we go through stuff like that, it's good to have a reporter you can talk to, and the reporter is happy to have a photographer to talk to, because then you get it out of your system. You know, it's important to talk about it. I don't know if that gave any explanation.
No, that's great. Audrey.
Has it ever gotten to a point where you were like, I don't think I can stay there anymore?
Have you ever gotten to a point in any of the situations that you've covered where you didn't feel like you could stay there in that environment, that you had to leave?
Well, when we evacuated in Egypt now, the last time, that was one of those feelings that we had. We couldn't stay there anymore because if the mob came back, it would most likely enter the hotel. Friday prayers in Muslim countries are when they go to the mosque. The imams might fire them up, and they get more could get more violent, and that's what we feared, and that's why we moved or decided to move. So I don't think the military would have, at that point, been able to protect the hotel. That they would just have been run over because the military was not going to shoot directly at the demonstrators.
Anybody else have another question? Haley.
How many languages do you speak?
Fruta, how many languages do you speak?
Not very many, actually. Not very many world languages. I speak English, I speak Norwegian. I know real well Danish and Swedish, and a little bit of German.
Not very many. Anybody else have another question? Yeah, Bishan.
What was it like being there when President Mubarak resigned? What was your overall vibe and feeling when that took place, to know that things were gonna, things had actually, like you were part of history, basically?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. I was actually not there when he retired or stepped down. We left the day before, so my reporter he turned around at the airport and went back. I had stuff to do with my family, so I couldn't go back. But at some point, I think it's hard not to get feelings for people that actually treat you real nice. The young people that want change, they want to go to work and be able to go to work. There's a lot of people out of work. Unemployment rate is very high, especially among young people, and that's the people that wanted to change. And it's hard not to feel for them when they want to go to the lengths of a so-called revolution to change things. So it's not going to matter for me personally, but it's going to matter for people in Egypt. There are people that did well and had a good life under the rule of Mubarak, but for the young people, I think this revolution will come out good.
Okay, about maybe one or two more questions. We have about 5 minutes left.
What kind of other events and places have you covered?
Okay, you mentioned the tsunami that you covered. What other places have you covered or events?